In this game, a young Mikhail Tal shows why he would later be called the Magician. What you're about to see is not a forced checkmate, but a fearless queen sacrifice based purely on activity and pressure. White begins the game with d4, immediately claiming central space. Tal responds with knight to f6, developing a piece and preparing to fight for the center. White plays c4, expanding further in the center. Tal strikes back with c5, challenging the pawn structure right away. White pushes d5, gaining space and limiting Tal's knight. Tal replies with e6, preparing to break open the center. After knight to c3, Tal captures in the center with pawn takes d5. White recaptures with c-pawn and Tal plays d6, reinforcing the center. White develops with e4, building a strong pawn center. Tal fianchettos with g6, aiming his bishop toward the king side. Knight to f3 develops naturally, and Tal plays bishop to g7, completing the fianchetto. White plays bishop to d3, preparing to castle. Tal castles kingside, bringing the king to safety. White castles as well, and Tal chooses knight to a6, an unusual but flexible move. White brings the knight to d2, supporting the center. Tal jumps the knight to e4, applying pressure and provoking weaknesses. White plays bishop to e2, and Tal centralizes a rook with rook to e8. White expands with a3, and Tal retreats the knight to a6. After rook to e1, Tal plays knight to c7, regrouping toward the center. White places the queen on c2, and Tal plays rook to b8, preparing queenside play. White advances a4. Tal responds with b6, supporting the center and bishop. Now White plays knight to b5, a move that looks active but actually helps Tal. Tal calmly responds with a6, forcing the knight to decide. White captures on c7, and Tal recaptures with the queen. Position turns dangerous. White plays rook to a2, but this move is slow. Tal centralizes the queen with queen to e7. Now White plays f3, a critical mistake. This move weakens the king and blocks important defensive squares. Tal immediately jumps with knight to h5. White retreats with knight to f1, but Tal pushes f5, opening lines. After bishop to d3, Tal plays f4, locking the center and launching the attack. White tries g4, attempting counterplay. Tal responds with bishop to d4, checking the king. After king to h1, Tal brings the queen to h4. Pressure increases. White defends with rook to e2. Tal plays queen to h3, increasing the threats. After rook to g2, Tal captures on f3 with the queen. White blocks with knight to d2. Tal retreats the queen to e3, keeping control. Knight to f1 follows, and Tal brings the queen back to f3. White repeats knight to d2, hoping for a draw. Tal refuses the draw. He plays bishop takes g4. This move allows his queen to be captured. Tal sacrifices his queen, not for checkmate, not for material, but for activity. After the queen is gone, Tal's pieces explode into action. The rooks enter the game. The knights jump forward, and White's king has no shelter. White has extra material but no coordination. Tal has no queen, but complete control. Under relentless pressure, White's position collapses. Tal converts the attack into a winning endgame. White resigns. This is why Mikhail Tal was feared. He trusted initiative over material. He trusted activity over safety. And he proved that sometimes sacrificing the queen is the strongest move on the board. If you enjoyed this legendary queen sacrifice, subscribe for more beautiful chess games.